Okay, we are learning Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph in Masechta Yoma. We are 3 lines down from the top. Here we go. Tanu Rabbanan. Rabbanan taught in a brisa. Uba Aaron el oil mayed. Aaron comes into oil mayed. Now, this pasuk is a major problem because it's in the wrong spot. This pasuk says Uba Aaron el oil mayed. So I asked Lama, but what was he coming in to do? He already did the whole avodah. So what was he coming to do when he came in to the Kodesh HaKadoshim again? So when it says anybody he was coming in to take out the spoon and the shovel. Okay. The problem is that if he did this now, at this point, so then the Gemara is going to say we're going to be short some tefillas. The Kola Parsha Kula Nemar the entire Parsha's Achrim is set in order. Chutz pasuk except for this pasuk. Why was it out of order? My time. Amrav Chizda Gemiri because we have a Messiah Allah Chamesh Mesine. Chamesh Yos Vasar Kiddushin Tevel Kohen Gadol Makadish by Bayayim. The Kohen Gadol did Eser. Sorry, Chamesh Tfilas. He went to the mikvah 5 times, and he was Makadish Ad V'Raglov 10 times. The Kesidron, if this pasuk is actually where it's meant to be, Le Mishkachas Lahu Ella Shalish Tfilas V'Shisha Kiddushin, then you're only going to have 3 Tfilas and 6 Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim. Why is that? Now, the Gemara is going to go through this a bit, but let me just explain to you some things like this. The 5 tefillahs. Let's talk about what happened on the day of what was this on Yom Kippur day? Okay, so first of all, there was the tefillah. He'd go to the mikvah, he'd wash his hands, and then he would get dressed in the big day, Kohen Gadol, the Shemaina Begadim. Okay, and he'd do the carbon tamid and the avodas of the carbon tamid. Then he would go to the mikvah, and he would get dressed in his big day lavan, and he would do the avodas pnim. So that was avodas hayom. That included his par, and I think a seer, and he would bring the kateris inside lefnei lefnim. Then he'd go to the mikveh again, and he would bring the ayil, a ram, and the ayil ha'am, and then he would go be tovel again, and he would put on big day lavan, and he would go back into the Kodesh HaKadoshim to remove the machta. He would go back to remove the machta, and then the shovel and the that he left in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and then he would change again into his big day Kodesh and bring it into the regular Shemaina Begadim and bring the carbon tamid shel ben arbayim. Okay, that's the way that was done. Now, if without the machta at the moment when okay, if he took off the machta at the moment that if he didn't do that, if he took out the machta when he was finished doing the avodah and he didn't change, meaning he only wore big day 11 once, he did that avodah and took it out. So then he would do a tefillah then, change into his big day Shemaina Begadim, and finish off the avodah. So you'd knock off another. He would knock off. Let's see. He'd go to the mikvah. He would do big day kodesh, Shemaina Begadim, and then big day lavan, and then Shemaina Begadim. So that's just 3 times. So then he would only need to do 3 tefillas and 6 times Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim. So that's the first kasha. So it must be that this pasuk is written out of order, and that's what would happen if it was written in order. Must be written out of order, and therefore he changed into the big kodesh, and then he went back and changing to the Big Day Lovin again, and then back into the Big Day Kodesh. So therefore, it gives us another 2 tefillas that brings us up to 5. Okay, that's that. Now the Gemara is going to bring a machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and the Rabbi Yehuda and Rebbe, how we learn these facts. We have 2 different sources for it, and a nice, some Joshua Gemara coming up. So here we go. Tanya, I'm Rabbi Yehuda. Minayin l'chamesh tefillas v'asar kiddushin shetevel kain gadol mekadosh b'yom. So where do we know these 5 tefillas and the asar kiddushin that he was tevel kain gadol b'yom on Yom Kippur? Says it like this. Tamad Laimar, Uba Aaron El Akoyin, Uba Aaron El Elmaid, Ufash's Big Day Abad. So Aaron comes into El Elmaid and he takes off his Big Day Abad, Virachatz, as Besari B'mayim. He washes himself in water, B'makam Kaddish, in a holy spot. V'lavesh is Begadav, then he put on his Big Day, his Shmein Begadim, his Big Day Zav, V'yatzeh to go out, V'asa, and he would do the Avaida. So here we see in this pasuk, between going from Big Day Lavan to Big Day Zav, he would be tevel, and he would verachatz b'sar means he'd be tevel and b'kiddush, and he would wash his hands and feet. So the Gemara learns from here. Rabbi Yehuda learns from here. Anyone who's changing from one avodah to another avodah, ta'un tefillah needs to be tevel in the mikvah. That's his source. Amar Rabbi brings a different source. Minayin l'chamesh tefillas asar kiddushin shetevel kain gadol mekadosh b'yom. Shinema, the pasuk says, this is in the beginning of the parsha of Achrimais. Kesonis bad kodesh yilbash. He would wear a kesonis of bad, a linen shirt. Umechnesei bad yobasari, and he'd wear linen pants. But avnei bad yachar, and the linen belt. He'd wear mitzvahs bad yitznev, and he'd have a linen hat. Big day kodesh heim. They are holy clothes. Berachatz b'sarei, and he would wash himself. Berachatz b'mayim es b'sarei ulavesham, and he'd put them on after he was tovel. When you're changing from one avodah to another avodah, here he was going from Big Day Zav into Big Day Lavan. Ta'un tefillah, he is required to be tovel. And it also says in the pasuk an extra word, Big Day Kodesh. So hukshu kala bagadan kulan zelazah. So I'm able to learn all of the Big Day Kodesh. It means when you go from Big Day Zav to Big Day Lavan or Big Day Lavan to Big Day Zav, that it requires tefillah and kiddush yadayim reglayim. Okay, now the brisa continues. The chamesh avodas hein. There were 5 avodas done that day. Chamesh shal shachar b'big day zav. The morning offering was done in the golden begadim. Avodas hayom. Then the avodah of Yom Kippur was b'big day lavan. Then he had Eloi ve'Elham, his ram and the nation's ram is a big day zav. Again, back to big day zav. Kachu machta, to go back in to take out the shovel and the spoon, the Big Day Lavan, that was done in Big Day Lavan, and Tamid Shabbat and Arbaim, Big Day Zav, then the afternoon Avodah was done in Big Day Zav. Great. Now, how do you know that every time you're tevel, you also needed to do you needed to wash your hands? Talmud Leimar, the pasuk says, Ufashat v'rachatz v'lavash. The Joshua we learned, and Amid Beis. Ufashat v'rachatz v'lavash. Remember, it says Ufashat. He took off his clothes. V'rachatz, and he would wash. And then it says v'lavash. So the Gemara put rachatz on both the pashat and the lavash. So it says the Gemara. Reb Elazar ben Yaakov Aimer. So that's one source. Now, this source is only going to come out according to Rebbe, because according to Rabbi Yehuda, this uverachatz is talking about going to the mikvah. According to Rebbe, I know the mikvah already from the pasuk before this. So this pasuk is not coming to tell me to go to the mikvah again, because I already know you have to change your clothes. But when you change your garments, you have to go to the mikvah. So what's this verachatz? This verachatz is talking about kiddush yadayim b'raglayim, and therefore I learned mufasha verachatz. When you take off your clothes, you do kiddush yadayim b'raglayim verachatz loish. And when you get dressed, you wash your hands again. That's how Rebbe knows it. Now the Gemara brings a drasha now according to Rabbi Yehuda, who learns that this pasuk is referring to going to the mikvah. He can't learn from there. So Reb Elazar ben Shimon, Reb Elazar ben Shimon says Kal v'chaymer. Uma b'makom she'ein ton tefillah, ton kiddush. In a place where it's not necessary to be toivel, you still need to be mekadosh yadayim v'raglayim. That time means if you hold that going to the mikveh every day was only the rabbanon. So therefore, why did you have to be? You still had to be mekadosh yadayim v'raglayim. So makom she'ton tefillah. So if you need to be go to the mikveh, then in addition to ton kiddush, then certainly you're gonna need to be mekadosh yadayim v'raglayim. In fact, the Gemara Mala alon kiddush achar echad afkan kiddush echad. During the regular day, you only have to do it once. Why here do you have to do it twice? Why is it that they have to say that he takes off the clothing that he's wearing? Obviously, you only take off clothing that you're wearing. It's coming to make a hekesh between taking off to putting on. Just like when you get dressed, you have to make Pshita, so too when you get undressed on kiddush, you need to wash your hands. Okay, now the Gemara is going to go through this entire brisa and basically explain the way we just explained it. It's interesting. The Gemara is going to go through this again. So let us save that for tomorrow.